So my aim today is to introduce the food processing special interest group. The rest of the team are on in the ether somewhere out there, and I've taken over as chair of a brand new group. So we're just in formation, really. So if you're into your storming, norming, and all that sort of stuff, we're very embryonic in that sort of way, and proud to lead it. I work for Muller Yogurts and Desserts as head of quality, so that's 3 factories within the glorious county of Shropshire. And I'd just like to introduce the Vice Chair, Claire, if you're about.
Hi everyone. Yes, so I'm Claire Gorin. I'm the Vice Chair of the Food Processing SIG. So I work currently for NSF International in the consulting team. So previously in food manufacturing and retail. And like Chris, we're very enthusiastic as a group about moving this forward now.
Absolutely. And then if Marielle is there, just say hi, Mariella. She didn't know she was going to say that. Is she there? She is. Marielle is our...
No, I didn't know I was going to say that. Hello. So I'm Mariella. I work for Premier Foods. I work in the food industry for 10 years, and I've always been interested in process. So I'm also very excited about this new group that's been formed.
Thanks, Mariella. Sorry about that. And it's Mariella who does all the organisation for the group, whether it's making sure that we're all in the same room at the same time, virtually or not. Well, from that, just a quick introduction there from Muller Yogurts and Desserts. We've got Premier Foods and we've got NSF on there. A broad church is what we've got. Still very young in its thing, but we've got people from Tesco, Vican, Mondelez, Tulip, my own Muller, Premier Foods. We've got great representation from eHedge as well. And so a great partnership there I can see coming up, given what we've got going on in the world of food processing. NSF, as we've just seen there. And then for the world of academia and support, we've got Teesside University, Camden BRI, Lincoln, CAFRE itself, DAERA, which is the Department of Agriculture, Environment and Rural Affairs in the Northern Ireland, and Dalehead Foods. And independent consultants, we've got a whole array of people with a tremendous amount of knowledge and experience already in the group, and all keen as mustard to get going, because this is sort of one of the forgotten areas I think that we're starting to catch up on, and how to introduce us into our industry. But can I give a special shout out to Mark Swainson? You all know Mark pretty much, and a special thank you to him and his team for designing some of the spot on video we were about to see of a robot making a cup of tea, which gives you a bit of flavour where we're going. So Mark, you and your team there, thank you. If you've got any chat things, and obviously we'll be using the hashtag function as Alistair's illuminated earlier on, and then I'll take those questions right at the end. The rest of the team's on, so shout out to them, because we're all enthusiastic and ready to go on this. So what's it about? So if we could just go on to the next slide, please. The food processing group really provides members that are interested not just in food processing, but the wider field of food engineering and food technology, which some seems to collide in the center somewhere, relating to main what we do is manufacturing and technology and equipment, with an opportunity to engage and share knowledge with others. And that's the crux of what we do. And through this, with our broad scope, we can cover a lot of areas, but it's finding areas where we need to focus on rather than trying to do everything and boil an ocean, as I sometimes refer to it as. Such a huge topic. It's about materials, it's about hygienic design, it's about preservation, it's about robots, it's about artificial intelligence, and it's about the ability to contribute to relevant publications through the IFST, and maybe even wider. But the group will take these challenges, found in factory environments, and then maybe turn them into some best advice and guidance for operational and technical teams that may wish to access it. One of my watchwords in this group is relevance, and I'm part of an awful lot of groups within the food industry, having been in it a long time. And if we haven't got relevance, nobody will take any notice of us. So you can see on the slide there, the words in blue there, demystification. And that demystification is key to what we're trying to do and achieve across that span of education, alignment and execution of ideas, fostering curiosity, allowing food technical practitioners to have a home to understand what hygienic design means and what some of the implications probably are within the wider food industry. I'll link into Louise, what she said about competency, and I'd add into that probably proficiency. But on the competency side, within risk management, a lot of our food factories are starved with people that should have the right educational level to deliver some of the risk-based food processing that we know and love in the UK. With the main eye then being really on future technology. I remember being in a group of 10, 15, maybe longer than that years ago, looking at the number of robots per head in Germany, far outstripped what we had in the United Kingdom, and the need to embrace that technology and use it and move with it. And being in mind that most of the food industry in the UK does come from our big food factories, and we should be proud of that. There is a great artisanal level, but the food factories is where our main effort will be. So with that, without much further ado on that, I'd like to now just to progress onto the next slide, and then I'll continue to talk, because I'm just thinking that we might well be a time to load this. So I'll keep talking through if you please load the video. So what we've got now for you as we load the video is University of Lincoln have got a food manufacturing setup there that they can demonstrate and utilize for the food industry, but also for students. And we've taken this idea to look at future technology, as on the previous slide, to try and demystify some of the skills that we need and we probably miss in the UK through our university and further education establishments. So not just at degree, but also sub-degree, giving us those skills that we need in our future to run our food factories. This demystification relies on having a skills base in there where our primary education probably needs to have a lot more focus on IT skills such as coding and so on, and that necessarily isn't there. So what I'd like to do is, when we run this, is for you to use the hashtag or the @ sign to come up with suggestions of skills that we're going to be short of, and I'll refocus on that in a minute. So if we could play the video, that would be good. So think of skills now needed to train our people in the use of robots in a complex environment. Thank you. And then next slide, please. So that was put together by a marketer's team in about 2 weeks with, as my direction was, to get some sexy music in there. And that's probably what we've ended up with, providing Mark's arm, I think, with a cup of tea. So thank you, Mark, for that. So using the hashtag and the @ sign, please put in some key skills. There's some of the normal stuff out there that you would probably know about, maths and Excel spreadsheets and that, but it's that intuitive stuff that I'm personally after, because one of the factors that we do need as we move on to the next slide is where we're trying to find those skills to make a good food process practitioner is making ourselves relevant in the food processing world. So we've got those skills ready. those skills are going to take time. And in some cases, we've probably missed the boat a little bit in our education system. But in the SIG, one of our main purposes is education, primarily at the university level. But it doesn't mean that we don't reach back into the schools and help them set a scene of the food industry, the 100 billion or whatever it is nowadays, contribution to GDP. But the training, the experience, the ability, the knowledge as a bedrock to produce successful food process practitioners key. And so just in summary of this slide, I need to be relevant. I can't, we're all busy, and if the SIG isn't relevant to what the IFST is trying to achieve, then we shouldn't go ahead. I think it is. It's got a massive inroad in with other partner organisations, not just in the food industry, but people like eHedge. We want to be inclusive. So if you're out there and you're passionate about food processing, then get involved. So we'd love to have you and some of our meetings. We have got that broad range now. There's a huge scope of people and experience. I haven't added up the years yet, but those that are on the call probably know how long they've been in the industry. We're into it for demystification purposes, and we like to think that we're very, very forward-facing, but embryonic. So please come and join us, or at least listen to some of our webinars in the future.